You ever have one of those days where you just pop out for groceries and suddenly you're in the middle of a literal store brawl, complete with handcuffs and a drawn weapon? Yeah, me neither until last Tuesday. It was supposed to be a chill afternoon, just me and my best friend Sarah grabbing some essentials for her kids. We were deep in the cereal aisle, laughing about some ridiculous TikTok, completely oblivious to the chaos brewing just around the corner. We were mid-gossip when we heard it, a sharp, metallic crash followed by a distinct, terrified yelp. Sarah and I exchanged a look, the kind that says, do we really want to get involved? But curiosity and maybe a little worry won out. We crept towards the sound, peeking around the towering shelves of canned goods. What we saw made my blood run cold. A young woman, maybe early 20s, was cowering against a display, trying to shield herself from a woman with a wild blonde perm who was absolutely laying into her. This blonde banshee was screaming obscenities, shoving the younger woman, and had just knocked over a display of pasta sauce. It was a full-blown assault, right there in aisle 7. Before I could even process what was happening, Sarah, bless her fierce heart, was already stepping out. "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" she yelled, her voice firm and commanding. The blonde lunatic barely acknowledged her, just kept badgering the poor girl. Sarah didn't hesitate. She moved forward, putting herself between the aggressor and the victim. Leave her alone right now. That's when things went from bad to utterly insane. Out of nowhere, Sarah's daughter, Lily, who'd been trailing a few paces behind us, popped around the corner. She must have been curious about the commotion. The blonde woman, in a blind rage, somehow swung an arm out, a flailing, wild motion that caught poor Lily squarely. Lily cried out, tumbling backward and hitting the floor with a sickening thud. Sarah saw red, actual red. In an instant, she transformed. She didn't just step in anymore, she moved. Quick as a whip, she had the blonde woman in a hold, her knee driving into the woman's side, effectively pinning her against a shelf. I watched, stunned, as Sarah, with one hand still securing the blonde, reached into her oversized mom bag and pulled out a pair of handcuffs. I swear to God. She must have been a cop or security guard in a past life, or just the most prepared human on the planet. As Sarah was trying to secure one cuff, a burly guy, presumably the blonde's boyfriend, came barreling around the corner. "Get off her, you bitch," he roared, lunging for Sarah. Without missing a beat, Sarah spun, dodging his grab, and delivered a swift, powerful knee straight to his groin. He buckled like a cheap lawn chair. But the blonde lady wasn't giving up. Even with one arm secured, she thrashed violently, grabbing a jar of pickles from a nearby shelf. I saw the glint of glass, the wild, desperate swing aimed right at Sarah's head. It was going to connect. Time seemed to slow down. There was no thought, only instinct. My hand went to my hip, felt the familiar weight. Before I even consciously registered it, my weapon was out, aimed squarely at the blonde woman. "Drop it, now," I yelled, my voice shaking but loud enough to cut through the din. The click of the safety disengaging was the only other sound. The blonde froze, the pickle jar still halfway through its arc. The boyfriend, groaning on the floor, went silent. The terrified young woman, who'd been huddled in a ball, slowly looked up, eyes wide. Sarah, still holding the blonde woman, looked at me, a flicker of surprise and then relief in her eyes. The spell was broken. Sarah quickly finished cuffing the blonde, then moved to the groaning boyfriend, securing him too. It felt like an eternity, but within minutes the store manager was there, then sirens wailed in the distance. Medics swarmed in, tending to the young woman and Lily, who was crying, holding her arm at an odd angle. Lily ended up with a broken arm, a tough souvenir from a grocery run. The young woman was shaken but thankfully okay, just needing to be checked out. As for our dynamic duo of chaos, the blonde and her boyfriend were hauled off to jail. We heard later their kids, who'd been wandering around somewhere else in the store, were taken by social services. The store manager, a kind man named Mr. Henderson, was incredibly apologetic. He not only helped us finish our shopping but insisted on having everything delivered to our houses. It was a bizarre, terrifying, and utterly wild day. We got through it though, thanks to Sarah's incredible bravery and, well, my preparedness. So yeah, next time you're just popping out for milk, remember, you never know when you'll need to channel your inner action hero. Stay safe out there, people.
All right, the last story is wild, and it's not what you think. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next round.
You ever have one of those days where you're just trying to survive a trip to a big box store with your kids, and then bam, you get hit with a level of audacity that makes you question reality? Yeah, I had one of those. It was a typical afternoon. I was wrestling a cart through the aisles, trying to grab some essentials while my two tiny humans navigated the chaos. My boy Leo was 5 years old, a smart, funny, absolutely cool dude with special needs, always curious and full of questions. My girl Rosie was a 1.5-year-old whirlwind, a pint-sized firecracker who believed every shelf was her personal playground. My patience was already thinner than a cheap grocery bag, stretched taut from dodging displays and explaining why we couldn't buy all the candy. That's when Karen materialized. She'd been hovering nearby, her gaze a little too intense on my kids. "Oh, they're just adorable," she chirped, a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I managed a polite, tired smile back, mentally bracing myself. Small talk is usually fine, but my social battery was flashing critically low. Still, as a nurse, I'm hardwired to engage. "They certainly keep me on my toes," I replied, trying to steer Rosie away from a tower of cereal boxes. Karen took a step closer. "So, how did you manage to get a job like this? Caring for children with special needs, I mean." I blinked. "My job," I echoed, genuinely confused. Was she asking about my nursing career? That felt like an odd segue. She chuckled, a dry, dismissive sound. "You know this job, taking care of the children." She gestured vaguely at Leo and Rosie. A flicker of annoyance sparked within me. "Oh, you mean being a mom?" I clarified, trying to keep my tone light. "I birthed them. That's generally how you get this job." Karen's smile tightened. No, I mean, do you need special qualifications? Like, did you go to school for special education to, handle his needs?" She pointed at Leo, not subtly at all. My politeness was rapidly eroding. "I went to school for nursing," I said, a little more sharply than I intended. "I'm a registered nurse, and this is my son Leo, and my daughter Rosie." She waved a dismissive hand. Yes, I get the little girl is yours. She's so lively, but the boy, is he your patient? I've heard some nurses take on private cases." "Is that how you got the job caring for him?" Her voice had taken on a conspiratorial, almost envious tone. I stared at her, utterly flabbergasted. "My son is not my patient," I said slowly, emphasizing each word. "He is my actual son, my child, my flesh and blood." My protective mama bear instincts were fully online now, and they were growling. Karen, however, seemed to have locked onto her own narrative. "Oh, I didn't mean to offend you, dear. It's just he's so unique, and you're a nurse." It made sense, but I was hoping to find a similar opportunity myself. "A steady gig taking care of special children. How do I apply for your position or one like it?" My jaw practically hit the floor. She thought I was a paid caregiver and she wanted to apply for my role of mother to my own son. "Listen," I said, my voice dropping to a low, firm register. "I'm a registered nurse. This is my son, this is my daughter, they are my children, I am their mother. There is no position for you to apply for. Do you understand?" Her eyes narrowed. "Well, I think you're being a bit dramatic. I'm just trying to be helpful. You seem a bit out of your depth with him. Maybe you should just leave them alone." "I can step in for a bit." And then the ultimate line, "You need to leave them alone." That was it. The red mist descended. My kids were my entire world, and this stranger was not only implying I wasn't their mother but actively trying to take them. "You listen to me," I snapped, my voice cutting through the store's background noise. "I am their mother. You have absolutely no right to speak to me or my children like this. You need to back away right now and leave us alone." I took a protective step forward, positioning myself squarely between her and my kids. Karen's face purpled. She let out a huff, a sound of pure indignation, and stormed off, muttering something under her breath about some people. I stood there, heart pounding, adrenaline coursing through me. Rosie, oblivious, was trying to chew on the shopping cart handle. Leo looked up at me, sensing the tension, and gave me a concerned frown. I knelt down, pulled both of them into a tight hug, and whispered, "Everything's okay, Mama's got you." The mix of amusement, absolute fury, and sheer disbelief simmered for the rest of the day. Who on earth thinks a random woman in a store is a nanny to her own children and then tries to apply for the job? Fast forward 16 years, my son Leo is now 21. He's still a pretty cool dude, just like I said he was. He's thriving, navigating the world with his unique perspective, and brings so much joy to our lives. And yeah, I still can't believe that Karen thought I was some hired help who didn't work there, because I worked everywhere for those kids and had the gall to try and apply for my life. It's like she didn't listen to a single damn word I said. But hey, at least I got a story to tell, right? A truly baffling, rage-inducing, unforgettable Reddit story.
Ever had one of those days where you step out feeling like a grown-up, only for it all to go sideways because some stranger decided your personal space was their personal playground? Yeah, me too. And let me tell you, this one involved herbal tea, a Target aisle, and a pocket knife. Buckle up, buttercups. So I'm Aubrey, just turned 18, and I was feeling peak independence. First time navigating a sprawling Target all by myself, basket loaded with various soothing herbal teas, my grown-up mission for the day. I was humming to myself, feeling pretty damn good, my trusty pocket knife, a gift from my grandpa when I turned 16, strictly for opening packages, obviously tucked discreetly into my jeans pocket. Just a small comfort, you know. I was happily lost in the labyrinth of aisles, probably admiring some fancy kitchen gadget I didn't need when I became aware of him. A man, maybe early 40s, kind of nondescript at first. He was in the same general area, which fine. It's a public store, but then it wasn't just general area anymore. He started hovering like a particularly persistent fly. "Excuse me," he barked, his voice jarringly loud in the relatively quiet aisle. "Where are the blenders?" I blinked at him, holding up my basket of chamomile. I don't work here, sir." My voice was a little hesitant. "I just wanted to find my sleep blend and get out." He scoffed, "Don't give me that. You're clearly an employee. I've been looking for 5 minutes." My stomach did a little flip. "Seriously, I don't. I'm just shopping." I tried to sidestep him, heading further down the aisle, hoping he'd just find an actual employee. But he followed, not just a casual redirection, but a deliberate move to keep pace with me. "You think you can just ignore customers? What kind of service is this?" His tone was getting more aggressive, his voice rising, drawing the attention of a couple nearby shoppers who quickly averted their eyes. My heart started thumping a frantic rhythm against my ribs. This wasn't just some rude "I don't work here lady" moment anymore. This was starting to feel sinister. Every step I took, he took one too, closing the distance. My initial annoyance was rapidly morphing into genuine fear. I could feel his gaze on me burning. My palms started to sweat. I just wanted him to stop, to disappear. I ducked into the kitchenware section, hoping the sheer volume of shiny objects and the potential for other shoppers would deter him. But he was right there, blocking my path to the next aisle, a low growl escaping his throat. "I'm not leaving until you help me, girl." That was it. My brain, which had been screaming run, suddenly switched to fight. He was too close, he wouldn't back off, and that familiar weight in my pocket felt like a lifeline. Without even fully thinking, my hand shot down, fingers closing around the cool metal. "Hey," I yelled, my voice a little wobbly but laced with pure adrenaline. My hand came out, the small, sharp blade glinting under the fluorescent lights, pointed squarely at his chest. "Leave me alone, get away from me." His jaw dropped. He actually took a half step back, his belligerent expression replaced with shock, then a flash of anger. "What the hell are you doing? You can't pull a knife on someone. And you can't follow a stranger around the store and harass them." I shot back, my voice gaining strength with every beat of my racing heart. I was shaking, but I held my ground. "I told you I don't work here, now get lost." A small crowd had gathered, murmuring. My cheeks burned, but I couldn't look away from him. He sputtered, pointing a finger at me. "I am an employee, and I'm going to report you." "You're not an employee," I snapped, the absurdity of his claim only fueling my anger. "You're a creep." Just as I thought he was going to lunge, a large shadow fell over us. A voice, deep and calm, cut through the tension. "Everything all right here, ma'am?" I risked a glance. Standing between me and the creep was a mountain of a man, easily 6.5 feet tall, with shoulders that could block out the sun. He looked like he ate bad moods for breakfast. The creep visibly deflated. "She pulled a knife on me, she's a craze." "She told you to leave her alone," the mountain man interrupted, his voice firm, unwavering. He didn't raise it, but the authority was unmistakable. "She clearly doesn't work here, and you clearly didn't respect her boundaries. Now I suggest you walk away. Now." The creep's bluster vanished. He shot me one last venomous glare, muttered something under his breath about crazy bitches, and then actually scuttled off, disappearing around an aisle corner. I let out a shaky breath I didn't realize I'd been holding, my hand still gripping the knife, though it was now pointed harmlessly at the floor. "Oh my God," I whispered. Thank you so much." The big guy gave me a reassuring nod. "No problem, kid. Some people just don't get it. Personal space is a thing, you know." He winked, then headed off. Later, walking home, the adrenaline finally wore off, replaced by a lingering tremor. I knew logically that pulling a knife wasn't ideal. In a perfect world, I'd have found an employee or just walked away. But in that moment, when he wouldn't leave me alone, when he was cornering me, it felt like the only option to make him stop. And you know what? While I hope I never have to do it again, I don't fully regret it. Because what I learned that day, what really hammered home, is that boundaries aren't just polite suggestions, they're essential. And when someone ignores your no, when they push and push, sometimes you have to find a way anyway to make them listen. It doesn't matter if they think you're an employee, or if they just need help, or if they're just trying to get your attention. My comfort, my safety, my space, that's mine, and I have every right to protect it. Even if it means pulling out a slightly too intense package opener. Next time, I'll probably just stick to online shopping, but for now, I'm just glad I made it home, herbal tea and all.
Don't miss this next video, it's a good follow-up.